Namaste, angels. This is the weekly general reading for the period of Sunday, the 13th of September through Saturday to come, the 19th of September. And we're going to get started right away, beginning with the dice and party, no, and stay in bed. Some of you may be celebrating perhaps birthdays, maybe anniversaries, because I see the party up top and the 29 spiritual partnership is facing me. So maybe like weddings, engagements, anniversaries, but also birthdays. Happy birthday to the Virgos celebrating. And sure enough, 29. Massage. And it's 50-50. It takes two to make a thing go right. Also, 50-50 is about give and take, balance, justice, equity, maybe splitting a bill or something. All right, so moving on to the cards, beginning with the Queen of Cups in reverse. This is a card that reminds you to not just like nurture and take care of other people and be compassionate and loving to other people, but to treat yourself that way also. You may be feeling like particularly emotional, sort of turned upside down or turned around, not feeling yourself in an emotional way or a spiritual way, perhaps. The Queen of Cups in reverse can also be somebody in your life. I mean, in any aspect of your life, but often at your job, who used to be really, really sweet and kind and compassionate and helpful to you, and all of a sudden is like you can't trust her. She's just not cool anymore at all. But yeah, I think it's more important that this card reminds us that we're worthy and deserving of respect and love and all those things. All right, so behind it is the Wheel of Fortune upright. So that's an indication of a turnaround. So the Queen of Cups most directly is a Scorpio, right? The Queen of in the tarot of any given tends to represent most directly the fixed element of any given the fixed sign of any given element. I don't know why I couldn't get that out. And of course, the fixed sign of the element of water is Scorpio, but this can be Pisces, Cancer, or someone like into those traits or attributes, that's not a water sign at all. However, the Wheel of Fortune is also connected to the fixed signs. So again, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo. And of course, it also represents most directly the planet Jupiter and the sign of Sagittarius, which it rules. But it's about a reversal of fortune, and typically it's turning around to be particularly lucky and good fortune when it's upright. So this was in reverse, so I should stop there, but just to be nosy and greedy. There may be some sort of choices and options. You might have to pick something, and you pick being particularly lucky. You may have to choose the right one of something. And the next card is in reverse again. It's a queen. It's another queen, another possible person in your life. The Queen of Swords, also in reverse. Open to the Hermit in reverse. He's a Virgo, most directly, and is very, very spiritual. He's turned upside down, but usually that means he's done some thinking about something. He's come to some sort of conclusion and enlightenment. Open to the Knight of Swords. He is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, like the Queen of Swords we just saw, or someone like into those traits or attributes. And he tends to mean you have a decision to make, maybe with regard to those 7 cups, right? The 7 of Cups can be about choices and a decision. And 5 of Cups in reverse means you're sort of getting over something, realizing all's not lost, and it's time to pick up the pieces and keep it moving. And the 10 of Wands in reverse, overcoming a feeling of being burdened and overloaded, having too much going on, and or burdensome upon somebody else, feeling stuck, trapped. We'll do one more. And it's the 9 of Cups in reverse. Okay, I'm glad I did that, because not all the cards are very exciting. And the 9 of Cups in reverse is one of those cards that, or the 9 of Cups period, is one of those cards that, like, whether it's in reverse or it's upright, it's good. It may not be as strong, perhaps, or impactful upon your life as when it's upright, but this is still some sort of prayer being answered, wishes being granted, or dreams coming true. something that you've manifested. Maybe you prayed to be free from something, freed from a situation, financially free, and maybe that's what the Wheel of Fortune and everything was about. Six of Wands is a card of victory and success. It too is in reverse, so perhaps there's a delay, not immediate, but your time is coming this week. Is what this says. All right, so let's cut. Very nice. Maybe this is how your time is coming. Our new card, overall energy, is the Magician upright. This means you have all the tools, the wherewithal, the ability, anything you need to be successful. A more negative situation, it could be indicative of somebody sort of narcissistic and manipulative in your life. Maybe that woman at your job, to those of you whom that applied. And the next card is the Hangman in reverse. Represents the sign of Pisces most directly. Again, Hangman in reverse is somebody similar to the Hermit in reverse, who has come to some sort of, revelation, aha moment, and feeling particularly enlightened. Look at all the light around his head, right? He's enlightened. So now let's get the stands out. And we're going to pull one card that most directly represents us this week. The next card, I'm going to pull them in order from the back of the deck. The next card will be the energy most directly surrounding us this week. Close friends, family, maybe some of our energy too, co-workers, all that. The third card would be representative of work and finance. And the last card will be love and relationship. So most directly representing us, again, it looks like a decision that has to be made, and or we're feeling sort of overwhelmed, or it's 50-50. We need balance. We need shared responsibility, mutual respect, adoration, love with another person. All of these things possible. Energy most directly surrounding us, close friends, family members, and maybe co-workers or something going on at the job. 9 of Swords, upright. Work, finance, 4 of Pentacles, reverse. And lastly, love and relationship. The Queen of Swords in reverse is back. Overall energy is the Magician. This could be representative of her. Love and relationship may be involving an air sign directly, maybe most specifically a Gemini, but Libra, Scorpio. Scorpio, no. That's water. Libra, well, maybe a Scorpio's involved. I don't know why that came out. Aquarius is what I was meaning to say. You get everything in frame. Is that good? Okay, I think it is. Looks pretty good. So let's get started with the Magician, our overall energy. So I'm getting still that feeling of it being connected to spirituality, similar to what I was feeling about the Queen of Cups in reverse most, that she was connected to our emotions and or spirituality. And I think this is pointing to a lot of like synchronicities and signs that we're seeing that point to really deep spiritual like events taking place in our life, and we might not even realize that they're taking place because they could be subtle or surface level or appear that way at least. But these little things that are changing around us are really going to set us on a new path, is what I'm feeling. You're probably going to be finding out or realizing that you have like the strength and information, knowledge, wisdom, intellect even, to accomplish the things you need to, like to meet any challenges that come your way this week. And it should be a positive time for us overall. Also, this is about like doing the work or doing your part. Like you make your dreams and wishes come true. We do that ourselves because we have the ability to do it. We manifest our reality. It's a card of very, very strong potential, right? So it's not one of those cards that says something is definitely going to happen. It says something definitely could, but you would have to make it so. And looking at the card that most directly is representing us this week, the Two of Pentacles, in order to make it so, we're probably going to have to put down some of the things we're trying to do. Like multitasking isn't necessarily our friend this week. We might normally be super good at it, but this time we probably have several things going on, maybe two things that are really like the major focus in our lives, or like in the front of our minds, and we're going to have to set those other things aside to focus on these two things, and then decide how to prioritize, these things. Also, it can mean our finances are sort of out of balance. Maybe you need to balance your checkbook. It could be that simple. And something could be in your favor, because again, the magician is about that positive potential, but you got to do the work. So you balance the checkbook, you find money in your favor that the bank owes you, or that you didn't realize you had because you forgot to carry the one in your checkbook or something like that. In love and relationships, if we're single, we may have, because we're single, we figure we got this time, well, I'm going to dive into my work. I'm going to put all my time and energy into my work. But I want a mate, so it's the need to realize that in order to have a mate, we still got to find some time for ourselves to go out and to be social, to meet somebody. If we have met somebody, we got to give them some time. Every time they call us, we can't say, oh, I got work. Oh, I brought work home. Oh, I'm planning to run into the office. Oh, I'm, whatever else. And no time for the relationship, but we claim we're interested in relationships. We need balance there too. Or if we're in a committed relationship and we feel like we're not getting to spend time with our partner, or when we do, maybe we don't have the energy for it because we exhausted ourselves at work or something, and now it's like, hi honey, I'm home, but I just want to go to bed, and that's not okay either. And we need to then prioritize our relationships. So if you got a bunch of other stuff going on, some of those things maybe take a back seat this week, and you got one, maybe two things that you can afford to tackle at once, main priorities, and just do those. Now, in the meantime, somebody around us could be, pretty anxious about something, having trouble sleeping. Maybe it's our mate, because I never see them anymore. He says he's at work. Is he really at work, or is she really at work? Maybe he's with somebody else, that kind of stuff. Or worries about money, perhaps. Again, the balanced checkbook is out of balance. Oh no. Maybe we're broke, or something like that. Just worries. Be careful about people around you causing you, to be anxious, like them, rubbing their anxiety off on you. And also, if it's you, then obviously, that's feeling anxious, then obviously you have control over that. And so, to the extent that you do, right? We have control over our actions and our reactions to things. So, especially with the Four of Pentacles sitting next to it in reverse, I'm going to say we more than likely will come to the realization, we'll realize that worrying doesn't serve us. And in fact, it could, bring more negativity, because again, we manifest our reality. So there's a need to try to shake that off, or do whatever works for you to relieve yourself of anxiety or sleepless nights and stuff. So maybe go for a run. Some people like to do that, or yoga, meditation, a nice hot bath, maybe with some like lavender in it or something like that. Just make you feel good. Eucalyptus, things that have scents that allow you to just like free yourself and free your mind and let go. Sometimes exercise of all kinds, aerobics, or I used to like CrossFit. I like weights and stuff. But you get sweaty, and you work up those endorphins and everything, and then those endorphins are happy hormones. So that cheers you up too, and that helps you to think positive. So moving on to the Four of Pentacles in reverse, the reason I said, especially in thinking about that, the Nine of Swords is probably about us getting over it, is because specifically with regard to work, as opposed to finances, with regard to work, the Four of Pentacles in reverse says that we're probably being far too worried about like the security of our job, the safety of it, like just worried about getting fired all the time or losing the job, or is the job going to go out of business? They're going to file bankruptcy, whatever, and just being like overly worried about it. Yes, there's some room for that and understanding, absolutely, given the financial climate, right? The current global economic uncertainty, that's for sure. Um, One of the a store that's been here my entire life, Century 21, by the World Trade Center, is they just filed bankruptcy yesterday. The store's been there for 60 years. So it could be like places. I get it. Places are closing, and we just don't know what's happening. But this card says that you need to realize that the worrying is counterproductive, because again, if you want to manifest positivity in your life, even a new job, if you feel that's maybe what you feel you need, then we need to think positively in order to do that. Specifically with regard to finances, it's a little bit more positive already. It says that we're finally like getting over our worries because we realized that it was dumb. It wasn't helping us, didn't serve anything, and that we can actually make a difference in our own financial situation if we let go of fears and take some sort of action, do something, right? With this potential energy that we have here with the Magician. So lastly, moving on to love and relationship, one that tends to be either one's favorite or least favorite subject. Queen of Swords in reverse is somebody that in a relationship or situation needs to sit down with their partner and discuss like where they went wrong, or where they went right. In some cases, maybe if they're just trying to, like, she doesn't remember necessarily this a situation or a relationship, if we're talking about exes getting together and going down memory lane or something, in the same way that the partner does. So one person could be, maybe it's her, maybe it's the mate, or the ex or whatever. But one person may feel one way, that maybe that they were slighted or they were wronged, and they say, well, yeah, this is what happened, and I called you and you didn't pick up, and then the other person's like, what? Like, what do you mean I didn't pick up? I wasn't home, or I didn't have my phone. I forgot my phone. Oh, I thought you were ignoring me. It's like they remember the story differently because they don't have all the information and they don't share a perspective. So it's about a need to sit down with somebody, and sort of compare notes and be willing to listen to one another and see what's up. I'm going to pull one other card for this placement. Let's see if we can find out what the confusion is about. Let's see if they'll tell us. So one of the partners likely had a decision to make. We saw a lot of the indication of that already. And was maybe afraid to make the decision. Usually with the Two of Swords, it's a decision that, like, what you want to do already. And maybe because you've seen the signs and the synchronicities, you've got the guidance. And it's about deep spiritual stuff, like I was talking about. Like, maybe a spiritually connected relationship, a soulmate relationship. And you know what you want to do. You know what your gut's telling you to do. You know what your soul's telling you to do. You know what your intuition's telling you to do. But the Two of Swords says, I cannot make that decision, because if I do, what's, my mom going to say? What's my dad going to say? What's my best friend going to say? What's society going to say? This is frowned upon. Or, this is non-traditional. This is scandalous. What are my kids going to say if I don't want to be with their mother? I don't want to be with their dad. People are supposed to stay together forever. That's the way it looks good. That's the way society says it's supposed to be. How's everybody going to feel? So you don't make a decision. And maybe that's why the two people, maybe they like their paths keep crossing like her arms, but then going apart. They don't come together because there's fear in making a decision that would work for them. Okay, I put one more. I get greedy sometimes, and you see that's going to cause them to miss an opportunity. Four of Cups is all about missing an opportunity. It was there for you to grasp, you know, and because again, worry about what other people think. Maybe there's an age difference, or again, maybe somebody's married or has kids, or is divorced but has kids, and so a lot of the times in these relationships, but whether it be a mother or a father, even grown kids that still have a lot of influence, or the parent is worried about what this other family member thinks, you know, especially if it's their child, like I said, even if it's their grown child, or what their child's other parent is going to think about them moving on, or moving on in a particular way. And that causes a lot of relationships or people to go that way and that way, and not come together and miss an opportunity. All right, we're like the one, that soulmate is being handed to them from God, and they're like, here, like, oh, but what about these people? You know, and that's how they blow it. I'll be greedy again. Could have this instead. There's the other 3 cups. There's the other 3 cups. Could be happy instead. Get out, be social. And then, see, I should have quit while I was ahead. The Fool in reverse says that in terms of love and relationship, that maybe we're not really ready for a relationship. Maybe we think we really want a relationship, but we're not really ready. Which I guess could be true for somebody that's having trouble making a decision. All right, I'm going to do another spread and see what that one says. Funny that we just ended on the Fool, because guess what I'm starting with in this next spread? The Fool. It's called the Dreamer here, but it's still Major Arcana card 0. A leap of faith. Follow your dreams. That leads to unexpected opportunities. In this particular deck, this card always has felt like the planet Mercury to me. Don't ask what that means. I can't explain it, but it feels like the planet Mercury, and therefore, for me, it also represents the signs of Gemini and Virgo, which Mercury rules. Also upright immediately behind it is the 6 of Pentacles. This is a card of generosity. The universe gifting you things, maybe through another person. You know, like these people, you say, wow, you're like an angel. Like you came through right at the right time. And it's like the universe giving you something, but they needed a vehicle, a vessel. And so they do it through another person. This can also be things like financial aid or credit or something that you need. Like right in the nick of time, right at the right time, something comes through for you. Your success and prosperity have allowed you to pay off debts, acquire wise loans, or to receive a grant or scholarship. In return for heaven's blessings, be sure to share the wealth with others through donations of time or money to reputable charities. Yes, that's true. If you get that kind of blessing that just seems like it fell out of the air, try to be a blessing to somebody else too. And it does look like the scales want to be balanced, right? Everybody, it's 50-50. Everybody should get their cut. Everybody should get their just due. Fair decisions will be made after all of the evidence is reviewed impartially. Have compassion for others and try to see all sides of a disagreement. Major Arcana card 8, Justice, represents the sign of Libra most directly. And last week, Mercury entered Libra. That could be why these two are showing up here. Could be something going on with someone's home or household or relationship or combinations of those. It's time to kick back, to relax, and to celebrate all that you have. Joy arises from success in your career, the completion of a project, or a very happy home life. Something could go your way in terms of an apartment or home, or again, your household, your family, or combinations of those, or all the above. Relationship, marriage, up to and including marriage, which will be cause for celebration, a wedding, graduation, or a birth announcement, and the need to have more fun. If you're single, this card could be about just telling you need to put yourself out there. Maybe put down the work, put yourself out there, and go out and be social and meet people, and perhaps the one. Who maybe will be a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, a Sagittarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. That is outgoing, creative, confident, and mischievous. News of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity. So this could be any kind of opportunity that's coming. Like that again is going to be cause for a celebration. And look, I just opened right to the Ace of Wands, an opportunity that's coming. It's going to be make you very happy, emotionally pleased, and it will be cause for celebration. I just did it again. Another Ace of Wands, and another Magician. There's magic in the air. You can manifest everything you need to be successful. This says a wonderful new opportunity presents itself. It may have come as a surprise, but you'll still want to leap into action and to passionately pursue every possibility. Like a surprise, like again, like the Six of Pentacles gives you, just seems like it fell out of the sky, but it's a gift from the universe. Maybe a new home, something you've been waiting for. Your number got called on the list for the apartment lottery. And look, it's another, I can't make this up. You're not going to believe this. It's another Justice. You guys just saw me open randomly and throw cards in arbitrarily. It's another major arcana card, Justice. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. And guess what it's sitting upon? Another Two of Swords. Being unable or unwilling to make a decision. A stalemate. Pretending there's no problem. And that was atop the Star, which is similar to the Nine of Cups that we saw. Wishes granted, prayers answered, dreams coming true. Or they want to at least, but we may miss the opportunity. It's another Four of Cups. And if we don't take advantage, if we don't act, we may miss the opportunity. Okay, so I had shuffled these cards in advance of the reading. We just looked at some. Each one that we looked at, I threw it in someplace random, and now I'm mixing them up again. Somebody said, oh, that was an interesting way to shuffle. I'm doing it this way because there's over 100 cards here, right? It's 2 decks, actually. The Animal Tarot and the Angel Tarot. So I can't shuffle them in the traditional manner, but I certainly mixed them up quite a bit. And then once we do that, we pick them up randomly. We put some in the middle, some on top, right? Some in the bottom. There we go. Just whatever. Whatever. We do this. It's just a big jumble. And now, the overall energy is the Hermit, which we also saw earlier in the Rider-Waite deck. Take time for contemplation, to retreat and to go within. Be a beacon for others on their path to enlightenment. And behind him is the Empress upright. Interesting. It's time to hop into action. Use your natural creativity to bring forth prosperity and success in your life. The Empress represents the planet Venus, ruler of the signs of Libra. We saw those 2 Justice cards already. Libra, Taurus as well, and Gemini. Crowning those of you who identify as a masculine archetype this week is a Four of Cups. So you're who's at risk of missing an opportunity, at least thus far. Maybe the feminine will get her own, but this is yours. Your responsibilities may distract you from noticing all the gifts that God is presenting to you. Be open to investigating opportunities that come your way. Don't just ignore them or ignore your feelings about them. And here's the opportunity. Boom. Next, let me put these up here so y'all can see that I'm taking these off the top. The next card was the Ace of Wands again. A wonderful new opportunity presents itself. It may have come as a surprise, but you'll still want to leap into action and to passionately pursue every possibility. What did I say? This one just said. Be open to investigating opportunities that come your way. So don't ignore this Ace of Wands. It could be a new relationship, a new job, again, a new, your numbers coming up for apartment or home or an opportunity to remodel or to start a new class. I don't know, to be blessed somehow. Masculine subconscious. It's the star again, too. You're about to take a big leap forward with your life. Worry will be replaced with optimism. Remember the worry, the Nine of Swords? Fear will be replaced with hope, and joy is coming home to roost. Some people may be bringing a baby home this week. That may be what this is about, too. Especially with the Empress showing up here. Empress can be about pregnancy or giving birth. If you are trying to get pregnant, when she shows up, it's a good time to try, and you might get lucky this time. The star most directly represents the sign of Aquarius and can also be about communication, usually involving some sort of tech like FaceTime or Skype or, something like that. Online dating. Crowning those of us who identify as a feminine archetype this week, the Page of Earth. Maybe this hermit, Virgo, that is significant in our life, perhaps. He, or it could be about money or the material, which is good too. I'm sure we'll take that too. The Page of Earth is scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful. Good news about financial matters. Wanting to do something more challenging and maybe a new area of study. Surrounding the feminine. The Page of Swords. Logical, honest, impulsive, and curious. Challenging information. Delays or changes to plans. And truth delivered without tact. So pages bring news. This one brings news, again, of financial matters. So it could be actual money or something material, an asset. And some opportunities could be seen as an asset, right? They have value. The Page of Swords brings news in the form of information, maybe clarity, filling in some blank that we didn't, something was missing. We needed more information. Here comes the Page of Swords with it. Sometimes it's like boom, like just blunt. Here it is, and that can be troublesome. But we're meant to receive it without getting upset about how it was told to us. I mean, that air signs can be super, super blunt. Also, for some, there could be some sort of air and earth connections. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Feminine subconscious. The Nine of Wands. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. So, for example, if the relationship that needed communication because you remember it differently with an air sign, maybe it's involving an earth sign as well. Don't give up, or just your life and or livelihood. Don't worry, something's coming through for you, financial wise or asset wise. Keep going, keep pushing. The Nine of Wands is one of these cards that says you might feel like you're down and out, like you don't have any more oomph to go, but then you get this boost from the universe, right? You get that last bit of energy that you need to make it over the finish line. Crowning, the Ace of Swords. Brilliant new ideas and inspirations. Seeing the truth of a situation and maybe a challenging beginning. We may have had to deal with, 3 of Swords, 10 of Swords in order to get here, but we're here now, right? So it's a victory nonetheless. Ace of Swords, a card of victory, about truth coming out. Maybe, again, some air sign, doesn't have to be an air sign, but maybe very well an air sign, just blurt something out, just gives you the truth, whether you're prepared for it or not. But here it is. And then we'll be thankful for it because that'll allow us to make the new start we need to. At the root or foundation. Major Arcana card 5, the Hierophant, which represents the sign of Taurus. Embrace this time of deep spiritual growth. You may feel called to act as a mentor, to find a new teacher, or to spend time with others who are also on a sacred path. We've seen a lot of these spiritual cards, and since the beginning of the reading, I've been feeling that something spiritual is happening this week. The Hierophant is another one that can be about, one of the main things for me is about the people, places, and things with which we surround ourselves, because we are spiritually ascending and growing. Like, we've outgrown the places we used to hang out, the people we used to hang out with, and the things we used to do, even if it's our family sometimes. And so we need to seek people, and maybe a teacher, a spiritual leader, or somebody that's of a higher vibration than ourselves, as well as people who match our vibration or of a similar vibration to our own, with which to surround ourselves now. We need new hangouts, right? That better match our vibe, our vibration that we're putting out there. And lastly, at the heart of the matter, it's another Page of Swords, sitting here right next to this one. This is an intellectual challenge that calls upon your ability to think of a matching solution. If helpful information is put to you bluntly, accept the message without being bothered by the messenger. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. They did it a little bit more eloquently. The Page of Swords is logical, truthful, curious, and undiplomatic. Somebody may very well spit something out at you, but it's the truth. And then you need to hear it, and it's going to help you. So further advice for each archetype from each deck. Still being conscious of this very spiritual overall energy that we have here, the Hermit, as well as the Empress, very intuitive. The Dreamer's back, or the Fool. Again, take a leap of faith, follow your dreams, because that can lead you to unexpected opportunities. So those of you who are stuck and not making your decisions that you need to make, if that Two of Swords is you, and you're afraid to do something, again, because of what other people might think or say, this is guiding you to get yourself out there. Put yourself out there for this opportunity. Jump at it. Right? A leap of faith. For the Feminine, it's another Queen of Cups. She is tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving. Relationships develop to a new level. Yes, I think a spiritual level. Trust, and it could be a relationship that's not a romantic relationship. This could be with friends, again, family members. You're just needing to align with people that just match your vibe. Trust your intuition also. So pay attention to those signs and synchronicities, and care for yourself and others. It's like we're ending the reading the same way we started it. I started it saying that the Queen of Cups in reverse was about your need to treat yourself with love and respect, just like you treat other people. And it's the Knight of Swords now. He is decisive, focused, driven, and impulsive. Get ready for progress to speed up. This situation calls for you to choose logic and intellect over emotion, and to make your decisions quickly. I'm glad that you got this, masculine, because again, you need to make a decision to, go after your dreams, follow your dreams. The Knight of Swords, like the Queen and these pages that are here, is also a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, and tends to mean that you have a decision to make, and or are awaiting a decision, or both. Sometimes we need somebody else to make a decision, then they got to drop the bomb on us. When we hear what they have to say, then we can decide what our next move is too. And lastly, for the Feminine, it's the King of Swords. I swear, I was sitting here looking like the only person that hasn't shown up is the King. Because we saw the Queen, we got the two pages, the Knight, here's the King now. He is intelligent, impartial, respected, and unemotional. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly. Be objective and unemotional, and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert that you can find. Maybe somebody, again, of a higher vibration than your own. The King, like the pages and the Knight and the Queen, is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And he is all about saying what you mean and meaning what you say. So definitely he's about communicating what needs to be communicated. And if he is somebody in your life with whom you're dealing, whether he's an air sign or not, he's, especially on a romantic level, I'm looking at it here with this Queen of Cups, he's somebody you have to take as he is. You cannot try to change this man or woman for that matter. I'm saying him because it's the king, but it can be a woman too, of course. It's not gender or sexuality specific, orientation specific. But you got to take this person as they are. You cannot try to change them. And so, if love them or leave them alone. Now, for those of you who would like to stay with me, I just remembered I also have to give you what's going on this week on the planetary calendar and the theological calendars, so to speak. So I'm going to get into that. Those of you who don't want to see that, thanks for joining me for the readings, for the spreads. Whether you stayed for one or both or however you did it, I appreciate it. Please do like the video before you go and subscribe if you haven't already. Share, all that good stuff. Comment. I try to answer everybody that comments, all the comments that YouTube shows me. I try to respond to. And, I don't charge people to talk to me and stuff like that. So any questions and comments are welcome. All right, so the rest of you, I'm going to quickly turn my laptop on, get logged in here. All right, that was fast. It took forever to turn on yesterday. All right, so we'll start with the Christian calendar. We have 2 events on this calendar. On the 14th, the Feast of the Triumph of the Holy Cross. I'm sorry, we have 2. And on the 15th, of course, 15 equals 6, we have a feast day for Mary, the feast day of Our Lady of Sorrows. That may be why all the swords, too. Although we didn't have to see the 3 or the, like really painful ones. So let's get into that. Let's get into the Holy Cross, the triumph of the Holy Cross, the victory. I went to www.franciscanmedia.org for this. Early in the 4th century, Saint Helena, mother of the Roman Emperor Constantine, went to Jerusalem in search of the holy places of Christ's life. She raised the 2nd century temple of Aphrodite, which tradition held was built over the Savior's tomb. And her son built the basilica of that holy sepulchre on that spot. During the excavation, workers found 3 crosses. Legend has it that the one on which Jesus died was identified when its touch healed a dying woman. The cross immediately became an object of veneration. At a Good Friday celebration in Jerusalem toward the end of the 4th century, according to an eyewitness, the wood was taken out of its silver container and placed on a table together with the inscription Pilate ordered placed above Jesus' head. Then, quote, all the people passed through one by one. All of them bowed down, touching the cross and the inscription, first with their foreheads, then with their eyes. After kissing the cross, they move on, end quote. And Catholics do like this, these signs of the cross, 3 of them like that at Mass. This is from where that tradition comes. To this day, the Eastern churches, Catholic and Orthodox alike, celebrate the exaltation of the Holy Cross on the September anniversary of the Basilica's dedication. The feast entered the Western calendar in the 7th century, 7 means God, after Emperor Heraclius, like Hercules, recovered the cross from the Persians, who had carried it off in 614, the year 614, 15 years earlier. According to the story, the emperor intended to carry the cross back into Jerusalem, but was unable to move forward until he took his imperial garb off and became a barefoot pilgrim. So he couldn't be dressed as a king to carry this because, obviously the indication is that Jesus is the king. You're not the king. So you got to strip all that stuff off. The cross is today the universal image of Christian belief. Countless generations of artists have turned into a thing of beauty to be carried in procession or worn as jewelry. To the eyes of the first Christians, it had no beauty. It stood outside too many city walls, decorated only with decaying corpses, as a threat to anyone who defied Rome's authority, including Christians who refused sacrifice to Roman gods. Although believers spoke of the cross as the instrument of salvation, it seldom appeared in Christian art unless disguised as an anchor or the Chi-Rho, until after Constantine's Edict of Toleration. And then moving on to the second feast day, September 15th, Our Lady of Sorrows. Also from franciscanmedia.org. For a while, there were two feasts in honor of the Sorrowful Mother, one going back to the 15th century and the other to the 17th century. For a while, both were celebrated by the Universal Church, one on the Friday before Palm Sunday and the other in September. The principal biblical references to Mary's sorrows are in Luke 2:35 and John 19:26 through 27. The Lucian passage is Simeon's prediction about a sword piercing Mary's soul. The Johannine passage relates Jesus' words from the cross to Mary and to the beloved disciples. Many early church writers interpret the sword as Mary's sorrows, especially as she saw Jesus die on the cross. Thus, the two passages are brought together as a prediction. St. Ambrose, in particular, sees Mary as a sorrowful yet powerful figure on the cross, at the cross rather. Mary stood fearlessly at the cross while others fled. Mary looked on her son's wounds with pity, but saw in them the salvation of the world. As Jesus hung on the cross, Mary did not fear to be killed, but offered herself to her persecutors as well. John's account of Jesus' death is highly symbolic. When Jesus gives the beloved disciple to Mary, we're invited to appreciate Mary's role in the church. She symbolizes the church. The beloved disciple represents all believers. As Mary mothered Jesus, she is now mother to all of his followers. Furthermore, as Jesus died, he handed over his spirit. Mary and the Spirit cooperate in begetting new children of God, almost an echo of Luke's account of Jesus' conception. Christians can trust that they will continue to experience the caring presence of Mary and Jesus' Spirit throughout their lives and throughout history. And then we move on to the Jewish calendar. And the last day for which this reading is September 19th, Saturday, September 19th. It is both the first day of the Hebrew month of Tishri, and it's the first day of Rosh Hashanah. So it's New Year's Day for the year 5781. That's the year we'll be starting. And it's funny because today is New Year's Day in Ethiopia. Today's 9/11. Some of you may know that I'm a 9/11 survivor, actually. But to a happier note, today is Ethiopia's New Year. In Ethiopia, we very well all may have our roots there. The mitochondrial Eve, or the Eve genes, the bones and remains of the first or oldest human being ever discovered, they've been tested and said to have DNA that is attached to every currently living human being, every single one of us. And that's how we're all tied together. This person, this woman, was found in East Africa. It could have very well been Ethiopia. Christians have roots in Ethiopia. Jews have roots in Ethiopia. Muslims have roots in Ethiopia. Rastafarians have roots in Ethiopia. That's from where Haile Selassie is. So it's a special day for me, but I think across the diaspora it should be, if it's not. So just maybe that's why I was moved to do this reading today. on New Year's. So I'm going to talk about the Jewish New Year now, Rosh Hashanah. And for that, I've gone to www.shabbat.org. The Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah, is the Jewish New Year. It is the anniversary of the creation of Adam and Eve. How ironic. I was just talking about the scientific Eve. They call this woman Eve that they found because we're all connected to her, according to science. And you can look it up, the Eve genes. It'll tell you. So this is a day honoring Adam and Eve, or the anniversary of the creation of those two, and of judgment and of the coronation of God as king. Rosh Hashanah is the birthday of the universe, according to Jewish tradition, the day God created Adam and Eve, and it's celebrated as the head of the Jewish year. It begins at sundown on the eve of Tishrei, September 18th, 2020, and ends after nightfall on Tishrei 2, September 20th, 2020. The Jewish, like the Muslim holidays, start at sundown the day before. The central observance of Rosh Hashanah is blowing the shofar, that's the ram's horn, on both mornings of the holiday, except on Shabbat. So if it falls on a Sabbath day, which it does this year, because the 19th is a Saturday, that's the Sabbath, then they won't do it. So it says in that case, it's normally done in a synagogue as part of the day's services, but may be done elsewhere for those who cannot attend. This talks about Rosh Hashanah feasts and the ways that Rosh Hashanah is celebrated, but I won't, you can check those out on your own if you like. Getting a little bit about the month of Tishrei, also from Shabbat.org. Tishrei, or Tishri, is the first month of the Jewish year, the 7th month when counting from Nisan, and it's full of momentous and meaningful days of celebration, beginning with the high holy days, or the high holidays, depends, you can use either term. In this month, we celebrate Rosh Hashanah, the 10 days of repentance, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, and Simchat Torah. Each one is filled with its own meaningful customs and rituals. Some are serious, awesome days set aside for reflection and soul searching, and some are joyous days full of happy and cheerful celebration. But all of these days throughout the month of Tishrei are opportunities to connect and to be inspired and to become more fulfilled and in tune with our true inner selves. Tishrei is considered the head of the year and the reservoir from which we draw our strength and inspiration throughout the year ahead. That was nice. And lastly, the planetary calendar. We only have one thing to talk about, and that is September 17th at 7 a.m. The new moon, 25 degrees Virgo. So it'll be at 7 a.m. and 25 also equals 7. We'll do a separate moon reading, so I won't go any further or take up any more of your time today with this reading. I'll see you back again with the love reading. If you enjoyed this one, please do give it a thumbs up, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't already by hitting both the subscribe button and the bell button. I'll be back soon. Namaste.